Is it time for the Toronto Maple Leafs to part ways with a player who was supposed to be a game-changer this season? Max Domi's struggles have left many fans questioning his future in blue and white. With just 3 goals in 47 games, the team might be weighing their options as the trade deadline approaches. Could moving Domi open the door for a more impactful scorer? Stay tuned, because the next few weeks could determine the fate of this talented forward. If you want to keep up with all the latest Maple Leafs news, make sure to subscribe and drop a like. Max Domi's time with the Toronto Maple Leafs has certainly been a roller coaster ride. When he signed that 4-year deal in the offseason, there were high hopes that he would carry the momentum from his previous playoff performances into this season. But let's face it, fans, his current production is nowhere near what we expected. With only 3 goals in 47 games, it's no wonder many are starting to question his future with the team. As the trade deadline approaches, the Maple Leafs are in a tough spot. They need to bolster their scoring depth, and Domi's struggles could make him a candidate for a trade. His contract, which carries a manageable cap hit of $3.75 million, could be relatively easy to move, given that he has a modified no-trade clause allowing him to reject deals to just 13 teams. The question is, will there be a market for him? Should the Leafs look to make a significant move to enhance their attack? Some analysts are suggesting that trading Domi might be the best option. But let's not forget, Domi's physical style and tenacity could prove to be invaluable in a playoff run. If he finds his game again, he could still be a key asset for the Leafs. Now, let's weigh the reasons for keeping Domi. First off, his playoff experience is undeniable. He brings an aggressive approach that complements the team's identity. Plus, there's always the potential for a turnaround. Domi has shown flashes of brilliance in the past, so who's to say he can't rediscover that form with a little adjustment? And let's not overlook the chemistry he's had with stars like John Tavares and William Nylander. If they can rekindle that connection, it could be a game-changer for the Leafs. On the flip side, we have to confront the reality of his inconsistent production. Domi has faced some serious dry spells this season, including a staggering 22-game goal drought. When we look at players like Matthew Knies and Bobby McMann, it's clear that they've been stepping up and contributing more significantly to the team's offensive efforts. Furthermore, there have been questions about Domi's decision-making. On the ice, he's been criticized for missing goal-scoring opportunities and struggling with puck control. Moving Domi could also provide the Leafs with the flexibility they need under the salary cap to pursue a more reliable scoring option before the trade deadline. So, as we stand at this crossroads with Domi, it really begs the question, what should the Leafs do? While Domi possesses skills that can be valuable, his inconsistency raises major concerns. The trade deadline is the perfect opportunity for Toronto to address their scoring issues, and parting ways with Domi might just open the door to acquiring a player who can make a more significant impact. But then again, if Domi can turn things around, he could prove to be a vital part of the team's playoff push. I know there are a lot of emotions tied to the situation. Domi clearly wants to stay in Toronto, and as the cap increases, his contract might become more favorable to the team's future plans. But truly, do you think this is the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. I can see both sides of the argument, and I know you can too. And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Should the Maple Leafs hold on to Domi and hope for a turnaround? Or is it time to move on and create some cap space for a more reliable option? Your insights matter, so let's get the conversation going. Brad Treliving is feeling the heat as the trade deadline approaches. The pressure is mounting on him to make a move that will bolster the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup, and fans are buzzing with speculation. With names like Dylan Cozens and Brayden Schenn floating around, it's clear the Leafs are aiming high. But at what cost? Could Fraser Minten, one of our most promising prospects, be on the chopping block? It's a tough question, and it deserves a thorough analysis. If Treliving decides to part ways with Minten, he must be strategic. Let's be honest, trading Minten shouldn't be about settling for anything less than a premium center. While Scott Laughton from Philadelphia has been mentioned, I have to say, he feels more like a third-line center option. That's not what the Leafs need right now. Ideally, they want a player who can elevate the team, especially if the plan is to shift John Tavares down to the third line. That's a significant move, and it requires a substantial return. The Leafs are clearly eyeing impactful players, and the names being discussed, Schenn and Cozens, are certainly intriguing. Schenn is a veteran, a winner with a Stanley Cup ring, and he brings a two-way game that can make a real difference. He's got that playoff experience and can contribute on special teams. Plus, he has 3 years left on his contract, which aligns perfectly with Austin Matthews' situation. If things were to change with Mitch Marner, Schenn could provide some much-needed insurance. On the other hand, we have Dylan Cozens, a young star on the rise with the Buffalo Sabres. He's not just a solid player, he's a significant investment, with a long-term contract that's slightly pricier but worth every penny if you ask me. Cozens brings size, scoring ability, and a strong two-way game, and he's just beginning to hit his stride. The thought of adding a player like him to our lineup is definitely exciting. Now we also can't overlook the potential trade involving Easton Cowan. This is where it gets really interesting. Do the Leafs protect their investment in the offensively talented but still developing Cowan? Or do they hold on to Minten, a player who's proven he can contribute defensively and has the potential to add secondary scoring? It's a dilemma that could shape the future of our team. If Toronto truly wants to improve their center depth, they're facing a pivotal decision. Minten or Cowan? It's a tough call. Personally, I'm leaning toward the idea that trading Minten for a top-tier center could be worth the risk. But I'm also aware of the potential that Minten holds for our future. It's a tricky balancing act, and I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. As a passionate fan of the Maple Leafs, I can feel the weight of these decisions. The stakes couldn't be higher. Every trade, every draft pick, and every player development move shapes the team's chances for success. The emotions are running high as we approach this critical juncture in the season. The potential of landing a game-changing player could ignite our playoff hopes, but at the same time, we need to be mindful of what we're giving up. And you? What do you think? Are you in favor of trading Minten if it means bringing in a center who can make an immediate impact? Or do you believe we should hold on to our prospects and nurture our future stars? I want to hear your opinions down below. As we continue to navigate through this season, don't forget to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. We're all in this together, and your voice matters. Let's keep the conversation going, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with everything happening in Leaf Nation.